catch 'em all.
What's going on YouTube? My name is Eddie P. Hope everybody's having a fantastic day as usual, and welcome back to another video. So for today's video, we're going to be talking about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta and kind of just summing it all up together. We're going to be talking about what I liked about the game. Oh my god, fuck. And I was interrupted by my phone blowing up. But as I was trying to say, guys, for today's video, we're going to be talking about the Modern Warfare beta, summing it all up, talking about what I liked about the beta and what I didn't like about the beta. The point behind today's video is for you guys to hear my opinions on the game and somebody else's opinion others than yours. And maybe you can come up with a decision on whether you should buy the game or not once it comes out here on October 25th. I know the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta has been over and done now for over a week, but I have a total of like 4 beta videos, I think. And in my other videos, I talked about why all of my beta videos are late and why I'm posting them now rather than when the beta was out. So if you missed those videos out, check the links in the description down below and go check all those beta videos out. But yeah, we're going to keep the intro short and sweet for today's video, guys. But as always, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure you smash that like button down below and leave a comment for me down in the section below as well. Let me know down in the comment section what you think of the beta overall. Let me know some of your pros and cons, what you liked about the game and what you didn't like about the game down in the comment section below. And as always, guys, if you're brand new to the channel, be sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any content here on my channel. We've got gaming videos, obviously, with the Call of Duty Modern Warfare coming out soon. We got some Black Ops 4 content we've been grinding out lately. We also have other kinds of content than just gaming stuff. We have sneaker unboxings, sneaker collection videos here on the channel. We have a lot of challenge videos with drinking and eating stuff. We also do motocross, so we have some riding videos, we have some training videos, some gym workout videos, and just a whole bunch of other crazy stuff that I like doing with some of my friends and all the crazy stuff that's going on in my life. So make sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of those crazy videos. But yeah, with all that being said, guys, let's hop straight into today's video. Alright guys, so to jump straight into today's video, I got my notebook here of all the pros and cons that I have from the Modern Warfare beta, and I'm also going to throw up some like behind the scenes like gameplay from the Modern Warfare beta that I have pre-recorded, so you guys aren't just sitting here listening to me talk for the whole duration of this video. But we're going to start off with the cons and then talk about the pros, so we end off on a good note here on the video. But the first con that I have on my list here from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta is the door noises. So they added, like, the map sizing and everything is whole different from any other Call of Duty that we've had. They've changed the map from like the normal 3 ways, and they have like a whole bunch of buildings now, so you can go upstairs, downstairs. There's like a whole bunch of options that you could be in the maps, and they, with all the buildings, they added like doors that you can open and close, which is something that we see more in like a blackout setting, but they now have it in multiplayer, which for me makes no sense because the doors make so much noise when you open and close them, and it just reveals your position way too easily. For me, I think the doors is like a good idea, but I don't think it should be in multiplayer. I think it should be in a bigger setting, like I said, with blackout, or maybe in the 32v32 setting. I feel like that is a better purpose for the doors. But yeah, in 6v6, 10v10, or 12v12, I don't think the doors make any sense. Like I said, it just makes way too much noise, and it kind of just breaks up the flow of like the normal multiplayer gameplay. But for the second con that I have here on my list is the stat sheet. So the reason why I have the stat sheet on here, and what I mean by the stat sheet, is like when you press select when you're in a multiplayer game, where it shows your kills, your points that you've received for that game, and normally it shows your death. But for some reason in this beta, it didn't show your deaths and it shows your assists. Like, nobody cares about the amount of assists that you have, so I feel like it's more of a purpose to have like your kills and then your deaths and then the amount of points that you have. I'll try to get up an example of what I'm talking about on the screen, but it doesn't show how many times you've died, which for me, that's something that's more important to me than the amount of times that I've gotten an assist. Like I said, nobody cares about the amount of times that you've gotten an assist. I'd much rather see my KD ratio for the game and the amount of times that I've died. So that was another con that I had from the game. My third con that I have here on my list is the attachments. So we're going to talk about the Gunsmith system a little bit later on in today's video. But what I mean by the attachments is I love the whole Gunsmith idea and the way that the attachments and create your class system works in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. But what I mean by the attachments is almost every single attachment in the Gunsmith makes your ADS speed drop, which for me, I play like super aggressive, running around, gunning people down as quickly as I can. And with a slower ADS speed, it like your gun draws up a lot slower. So to win those quick little gunfights, if you're playing super aggressive or anything like that, you need your ADS speed to be almost maxed out, or like as high as it could possibly be. So when you're adding attachments that you need for the gun, almost every attachment makes the ADS speed go down, which for me makes no sense. I understand that adding attachments to the gun might add some weight to it. Maybe that's their thought process to it. If the gun is heavier, it's going to draw up a lot slower. But like I said, some attachments have nothing to do with ADS speed, but the con of that attachment is ADS speed is lower. Like for example, if you put a suppressor on the gun, your ADS speed will drop, and a suppressor has absolutely nothing to do with your ADS speed. So for me, that's something that I think they should fix before the game comes out. Another con that I have here on my list is the crazy amount of recoil on some of the guns, and this applies mostly to the secondary guns, so like the pistols and all of that. So like if you grab a Desert Eagle, the recoil on that gun and some of the other pistols is like tremendously like retarded. Like you'll pull the trigger on the Desert Eagle and you'll find yourself facing up to the sky. This has to go with some of the clunky movement that some people have been talking about when you're firing their guns and stuff. But for the most part, this isn't like the most important con for me, because with the SMGs and the assault rifles, or I didn't really use any sniper rifles or anything like that. But for most of the bigger guns, it doesn't have that crazy recoil that you would see on the pistols. So this last con, the crazy recoil, well, it's not the last con, but this point that I'm talking about right now has mostly to do with just the secondary guns and the pistols, like I just said. The last thing that I want to talk about on the con side, this isn't really necessarily a con, this is just something that I'm not too crazy about, which is the score streaks. So for me, within the beta, I wasn't too good at the beta. I was figuring out the game, learning new things. This game just take a lot of like thought process, and you really have to think about your movements. You have to be tactical. You can't play super aggressive. Like I said, I play aggressive, so it was a big learning process for me in this Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. So I wasn't too good at it, but I wasn't crazy about the score streaks, so I wasn't getting that many score streaks. Like I wasn't getting any tactical nukes or anything. But for me, the score streaks weren't as effective as a score streak needs to be. So I went on a lot of 5 kill streaks, which gets you that one, I don't know what they called it in this game, but it's like basically your Predator missile, which you're up in the sky and you aim down and you can just navigate and hit people. For me, that Predator missile here in the beta was like super hard to control. And with the sizing of the, not the sizing, but the layout of the maps here in the beta, there's so many buildings that you can get a Predator missile, but everybody's inside, so like you can't even hit anybody that's walking around outside. So there's not even a point for running the Predator missile, because most of the time you're just going to be able to hit a building and get no kills. I did go on a couple merciless streaks, which is a 10 gun streak, and once again, like, you have to grind and work super hard to get that 10 gun streak. For others, it might be super easy. For some, it might be super hard. So if it's your first time getting a 10 kill streak, and you get that score streak for it, this score streak isn't even that really effective. So I think they should just revamp the score streak systems, come back with some better score streaks, or maybe just use some score streaks that we're familiar with from some other Call of Duties. But that's basically going to wrap it up for my cons, and we're going to hop into the pro section now. Alright guys, so we're now going to hop into the pro section from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta and the things that I actually liked about the game. And after that, we have a few points to talk about with the pros, and then after that we're going to talk about some things about the game that could go either way, that we're not too sure about, the things that I'm not too sure about of how it's going to play out once the game comes out. But the first thing on the pro side, the thing that I like the most about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta absolutely has to be the time to kill. So here in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, the time to kill it feels so good, and it just feels like a natural original Call of Duty. And what I mean by that is, if you refer it back to Call of Duty Black Ops 4, the game that's out right now, the time to kill is a whole lot longer. This has to go with the stim shot that's in Black Ops 4 is what they added, and all the armor that they have, all of the specialists and stuff. So in Black Ops 4, if you're playing not hardcore, if you're playing like a traditional game of domination, team deathmatch, or free for all, whatever it may be, you can hit somebody like 3-4 times and they won't die yet. But in a traditional Call of Duty, we're referring to Black Ops 4, remember. So in Black Ops 4, you can hit somebody like 3 to 4 times and they won't die. They can hit their stim shot and they'll regenerate their health all the way back to normal. And then you're going to have to re-hit and re-tag that guy another 4 to 5 times for him to be dead. Which is something that I absolutely hated from Call of Duty Black Ops 4. And which is why I play hardcore in Black Ops 4, where it's just 2 to 3 hits, no stim shot, and you're dead. But in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, there is a stim shot, but it's not as effective as Black Ops 4, and it's not as important to the game as it is in Black Ops 4. But the time to kill in the Modern Warfare beta feels so good. It's not as tremendous as like a hardcore setting, but it's way faster than like Black Ops 4 time to kill, and it just feels way better, and it makes the game flow a lot better. And it has to come back to having like a quick reaction time, good ADS speed, and a good setup on your guns. But yeah, once again, the thing that I like the most about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta and this new game coming out is the time to kill. It just feels super good. The next thing that I have here on my list for the pro side is the Gunsmith. So we did talk about the Gunsmith a little bit earlier, but now we're talking about the Gunsmith here on the pro side. I just like the whole Gunsmith aspect of the game and the way that the create a class system works here in Modern Warfare. So you can just create your, like, the whole idea behind the Gunsmith is you creating your own gun. And they did say there's going to be like thousands of different combinations of attachments that you can put on your gun, which is super sick. I know they limited just for the beta, there's just a few guns, and with those guns there's just a few attachments just for us to get used to the game. But once the full game comes out, guys, there's going to be so many attachments, so many different combinations, and each different attachment does a different thing to the gun, and it's listed with a pro and a con, which is what we talked about earlier as well. But I think this whole idea of the Gunsmith is super good. And another thing to add about the Gunsmith is this amount of slots that you have. So in a traditional, in any of the older Call of Duties, I'm pretty sure like in the creative class, your slots is capped out at like 10 slots. So for example, if you have like a primary gun, a secondary gun, that's already 2 slots, and then you run your 3 perks, that's up to 5 slots, and then you're only allowed to have, so you're at 5 out of the 10 slots, and then your attachments would traditionally like grab up the rest of those 5 slots. But here in the Modern Warfare beta, for at least the beta, I don't know if they're going to switch anything up for the actual game. There's no like capped out slot spaces. So you do have like your perks and all that. You have your 3 perks, you have your primary, secondary gun, and all that good stuff. But on the gun itself, there's a cap of 5 slots. But if you add everything up together in that one class, it'll be way more than 10 slots, which I like. So there's just a lot more room for you to create a better class and a better setup for yourself to play in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game. The next thing that I like about the Modern Warfare beta is the overall movement. So the reason why I put the movement in one of my pro side is because if you just watch videos of the beta, or you just watch videos of other people playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, and for me, when the beta was restricted for Xbox and was only open for PlayStation that first week, I was watching a lot of live streams of other YouTubers playing the Modern Warfare beta and all that good stuff. And before I even got my hands on the game, like just watching videos of the beta being played, to me the movement was like super clunky and it looked super slow, and it just didn't look good at all. And this is why people were referring to this game way back when those first clips of them playing the game. People were saying that it looked like a Rainbow Six, or it looked like a Battlefield, and the movement was just weird, awkward, clunky, and nobody was really excited for it. But once the beta came out and I got my own hands on it, once they opened it up for Xbox, the movement actually feels like a lot better than it looks in videos, guys. Trust me, the movement isn't really clunky. The reason why some people were talking about the clunky movement goes back to one of the cons that I had with the pistols and the heavy recoil on the secondary guns. But the movement overall, it's not slow. It really, you just really have to play it with your own style. You can speed it up if you want with your sensitivity, horizontal and vertical sensitivity. You can speed it up. You can go as fast as you want. You can also play as slow as you want. So the movement for me feels really good, and it just feels like a normal Modern Warfare Call of Duty type of game. So the movement is something that I did like a lot. Another thing that I liked a lot about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta are the maps. So there was only a cycle of, I want to say, like 4, maybe 5 maps, and all of them were pretty good. So the maps were pretty good. Just had a lot of houses, and I already talked about this on the con side, the houses and upstairs, downstairs doors opening and stuff. But the overall maps were pretty good. One of the maps didn't have, or one of the maps had like this heavy house that just aimed straight down to one of the spawns, which is something that I think they shouldn't have had. But overall, all of the maps for me played pretty good. They were all pretty good maps. Like I said, there was only like 4, maybe 5 maps in the beta. We're going to have to see what the other maps have to deliver once the full game content comes out. But that's going to wrap it up for the pro side and the things that I liked about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. We're going to hop into some things that we don't know, so some things that can go either way and some things that are going to make or break the game once the beta comes out. Alright guys, so to wrap up today's video, we're going to talk real quick lastly about some things that we don't know about the Call of Duty Modern Warfare game just from playing the beta. Some things that could go either way. They could either be some good things added to the game, or it's going to be a downside to the game. So on this list, I just have like a few things to talk about, like 3 or 4 quick points. First thing is going to be the camos. So in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, obviously there were no camos, so it was just stock guns. Well, not stock guns, you can put your attachments on it, but no color variation to any of the guns. No camos were added to the beta. So for me, the camos, there's one thing that could go either side. It could be a good thing to the game, or it could be a bad thing to the game. Black Ops 4 camos have been like pretty bright, and like the camos have been pretty good. For example, World War II camos were trash. I didn't like the World War II camos at all. So we're gonna have to see what they come up with for the camos for Modern Warfare. Like I said, they can either make the game, or it can't, like just camos on their own can't break the game, but it could fluctuate to any side. A big one, we're going to see what the gold camo looks like. We're going to see what the diamond camo looks like. And one that a lot of people are interested in is seeing what the dark matter camo is going to look like in Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So we're going to see what the camo system looks like and how it's going to work. But yeah, that's one thing that could go either way once the game comes out. Another thing for me, and this is probably one of the most important things for me that could go either way, is free-for-all. So if you've been watching any of my Call of Duty gameplays from Black Ops 4, here on my channel, I play 100% free-for-all. I just don't like the whole team system, so like team deathmatch, domination, or any of that stuff. I just like playing by myself in free-for-all, not relying on any teammates and just gunning down people on my own. But in the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, there was no free-for-all, so I couldn't get my hands on any free-for-all in Modern Warfare. So I'm not too sure how it's going to play. And another reason why I have free-for-all in something that could go either way, especially for me, and why it's so important for me, is because the way the map size is, the maps are actually pretty big here in Modern Warfare. So playing free-for-all, which is traditionally like only 8 people, the map sizing right now is way too big to have only 8 people running around the map and finding each other. So what I'm hoping to see from them, because we do know they bumped up like team deathmatch and domination from 6v6, and it now goes up to like 10v10, and there's also 20v20, and then there's 32v32. So there's a whole different list of sizing for the team format games. So I'm hoping for free-for-all they're going to do the same thing. Maybe they'll keep a traditional free-for-all for 8 people. Maybe hopefully they can bump up, so they'll have a tier of 8. Maybe they can also do like 12 people, and then if you want to bump it up even more, maybe they'll do like 15 or 20 people because the maps are so big. We'll see what they do. But yeah, that's another thing that for me that'll go either way with the game. And free-for-all, like I said, is the thing that I'm like, that's the most important thing to me in the game. That's because that's what I'm going to be grinding out most of the time, is free-for-all in the multiplayer online aspect of the game. Another thing for me that can go either way with the game is the post-launch. Once the game comes out, we're going to see what post-launch is going to look like. So this isn't confirmed or anything. This is just what I've heard from other people's videos. They have said that there's not going to be any microtransactions with Call of Duty Modern Warfare. So what that means is From my understanding, they said there's going to be no season pass. There's going to be no microtransactions, so you don't need to buy DLC weapons. You don't need to buy DLC maps or anything like that. They said, once again, from my understanding, this isn't confirmed or anything, that all maps and guns and stuff are just going to be added as games once updates come out. So a lot of people have been complaining about Black Ops 4 because post-launch just wasn't that good, is what people are saying. That a lot of content from Black Ops 4 is recycled, like the maps have been recycled, which is actually pretty true. And also guns have been a lot recycled, and there's just not new content and fresh content. So I guess people want like new content to the game like every month. So we're going to see what they do with Modern Warfare, how often they give us those updates, if they stick true to their promise of no microtransactions and no season pass, free DLC maps and free DLC weapons. Like, that obviously sounds good to any consumer of the game and any person that enjoys playing Call of Duty. Anything of free, like we like having. So we're going to see if they stay true to everything that they said, and we're also going to see how often they do the updates of maps and guns and all that good stuff. Also camos, we're going to see how often those come into the game as well. Last thing that for me that can go either way is the maps. So like I said, the maps already in the beta, like I said, there's like 4 or 5 of them that we played. The maps are already on their own pretty big, so we're going to see how the maps that they add into the game are going to be. There's obviously going to be more than 5 maps in the game at launch, so we're going to see how those other maps are. Along with those maps, we're going to see how the maps are that they add into the game as DLC maps that we aren't going to have to buy, as I said in my last point. And update maps, we're going to see what they do with. Something that I want to see with the maps in Call of Duty Modern Warfare is not too many of them, because we experienced a lot of this from Call of Duty Black Ops 4, is some older maps. So if they bring back some maps that are iconic to the Call of Duty franchise and the Modern Warfare like game series, like that traditional map that's in Call of Duty Modern Warfare or Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare, where it's like that big cargo ship and it's raining. That's just an idea, an example. Just to see that come back in Modern Warfare in like a better version, better graphics, better game system, something like that. But that has happened a lot in Call of Duty Black Ops 4, where a lot of older maps are coming back into the game, and some people haven't been liking that. They've been saying that Call of Duty's been just getting lazy and just giving us recycled content. Other people have said that recycled content is good and it makes the game feel nostalgic and it just makes the game feel back to its roots. So we're going to see what they do with the maps that they add into the game and the maps at post-launch. But yeah, that's basically going to sum it up here for today's video and our whole recap from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta. Down in the comment section below, let me know a couple of pros and cons that you've had from the Call of Duty Modern Warfare beta, and if you're planning on buying the game once it comes out on October 25th. But yeah, that's going to wrap it up for today's video, guys. As always, if you enjoyed today's video, be sure you smash that like button. Leave a comment for me down in the section below, as I just said. And if you're brand new to the channel, just tuning in for your first time, be sure you hit that subscribe button to not miss out on any of the content. And with all that being said, guys, I'm out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.